everyone, welcome back. I'm really excited about this skincare reaction video because we're looking at Rina Sawayama, and she's actually kind of new to me. If you're not familiar with her, she was in the recent John Wick movie, but she's also a Japanese and British singer, actress, model. She kind of does it all. She's absolutely stunning. And the reason why I'm so pumped about this reaction is because she's doing her 12-step nighttime skincare routine on Harper's Bazaar. And I don't know, without seeing it, I just get the feeling this is gonna kind of take us back to some of those original routines where we saw people get indulgent and really just love what they're putting on their face and get into it. I don't know, at least I'm hoping because it's a 12-step routine that we're gonna get the feeling of back in the day, meaning like 3 years ago when people were really using, like 10 to 12 steps in their routine. So I'm really just pumped about it. But before I get started, just a reminder about skincare reaction videos. These are meant to be educational, they're meant to be entertaining, and most of all, this is about starting a conversation around skincare. That's what's most important to me. It's not about telling you what you should and shouldn't be doing with your skincare routine. It's really about knowing about your products and what you're using.
Hi Harper's Bazaar, it's Rina Sawayama. Let's go to bed together. First, we gotta set the mood right. This is my favorite candle right here. It's gonna be a long skincare routine, so let's make sure we light this. This is a tiny, tiny bathroom, so I'm probably gonna die of asphyxiation. Okay, first, I hate having hair all over the place when I'm doing my skincare, so I have this clip. This is my favorite clip in the whole world, even though it's missing two thingies. It's from Muji, and it's amazing because it has two sets of teeth, so it grips everything. I don't know if you can see. There we go. Amazing, and it's super cheap.
Wait, first off, I too love those massive Diptyque candles. Diptyque is still by far my favorite candle brand, by the way. I know there are a ton of different candle brands out there these days, but I always go back to Diptyque because for that price especially, they're unmatched. Like, you cannot find something that makes your whole entire house smell amazing for hours. Diptyque is it for me, so I love setting the tone with that. It's funny because I feel like in every celebrity routine nowadays, you see them set the tone with a candle. It's very funny to me because if there's a trend that I've noticed, it's the setting the tone with a candle. Anyway, I'm so glad that she pointed out that Muji has those clips because guess what I'm ordering right after this video? Those clips, because I have actually seen more expensive brands with those kinds of clips that have like the double teeth like that, and I've always wanted to buy them, but I couldn't bring myself to because I was like, do I need to spend that much money on a hair clip? Now the answer is no, you don't. They're from Muji. So also looks like it breaks because she broke hers, so you never know. Anyway, setting the tone, love it. Let's get into it.
So I just came back from a shoot, which is why I have a full face of makeup. I usually don't wear that much makeup, but I always start with double cleansing because I wear SPF during the day, even though I have tiny little sunspots here. My skin's pretty good.
See, that's what I'm saying. I knew she was gonna, I knew in my soul and in my heart, I was like, I think she's gonna double cleanse, and she's going to. And she said she wears sunscreen. She came out the gate like punching. She was just ready to go.
Not bad for 32. First, I start with my Clinique.
I think she looks really great, no matter her age. But good to know that she's 32.
Take the day off balm. I've been using this for a long time. I kind of go in between this and the DHC cleansing oil, which I also love as well. But this is great if you have heavy makeup. This gets off waterproof mascara, and it should be the first step in your double cleansing routine. My mum used to use Johnson's baby oil on her skin and then wipe it off with a tissue, but she has not a single wrinkle. She's in her 60s and her skin is amazing. So I have been double cleansing since I was probably a teenager, and I never go to bed with makeup on. So I always wear waterproof mascara because my lashes are really straight, and waterproof mascara is the only thing that holds it up, but it means that you have to properly get it off. Really hot, babes. Why does your mouth open when you touch your eyes? I can't help it. Okay, I think we're good. Okay, I'm gonna rinse this off now.
Can you guys tell I'm just so proud? I don't even know her. I shouldn't get too excited. We were just seeing the first step of her routine, but she's just coming out the gate strong, right? Take the day off from Clinique. That is one of the OGs of the cleansing balms. It's fragrance free, it does the job, and honestly, I think it's one of the most affordable, even compared to some of the ones that seem cheaper in drugstores, like the CeraVe one. You're getting so much less, and it doesn't even work as well, in my opinion, as this one. This is such a classic. If you use this, I've heard so many people say that if they use it, they love it. This is like one of their go-tos. This is a true classic. I think it's such a great cleansing balm, and I love to hear that she's been doing this since she was a teenager. Imagine, I can only wish that I knew what double cleansing was when I was a teenager, because just that preservation. Anyway, I love that she said that she looks pretty good for 32, but I mean, 32 isn't old. You know what I mean? Like, she's like a decade younger than me, and she's like pretty good for 32. It's like, you are a baby compared to me. So there's so many realizations when you get older. You're just like, oh, I wish I wouldn't have said that when I was younger. But anyway, let's see what her next step is.
So normally I would do this in the shower, and then I would wash my hair, which usually has a lot of product in it if I've done a shoot. The only shampoo that gets all the product out, and I've got a lot of, I've got hairspray and gel at the moment, is this Ouai Detox shampoo. I f***ing love it. You only need a tiny bit, so I use this first, and then I'll follow it up with my Davines. It's my favorite. Again, you need like the tiniest amount and then the tiniest amount of this.
It's funny to hear somebody saying that you only need a tiny bit of like these hair products, because we obviously have much different hair, because I go through hair products so quickly because my hair is so thick, it's drier, it's textured. There's just such a big difference. So when you hear somebody say like you only need a little bit, if you have the same kind of hair, right? Hers seems like really straight. It seems very fine, really shiny and pretty. Mine has a lot more going on that I have to deal with and work with, so it always depends. But I do like those hair products. She said something about doing this in the shower, and honestly, this is something that comes up I see on social media all the time. Can you wash your face in the shower? You've heard me say this. If you're gonna use scalding hot water in the shower, it's not your best bet, just because you don't wanna use super hot water on your skin in general. It'll just dry you out. It can even maybe exacerbate any of your skin issues if you're dealing with eczema or rosacea, melasma. Heat does not help you. That said, I've always said I cleanse my face in the shower often, because I tend to shower at night when my kids have gone to bed and I've got myself just, it's all quiet around me and I don't have to worry about any interruptions. I love to take my showers at night. Someday maybe I'll become one of those girls that can be like in the bath in the evening and everybody leaves me alone. I'm not quite there yet, but a shower is where I do that. And to me, the benefit of just like the mental benefit I get from being in the shower and cleansing at night in the shower is so much more worth it to me than issues I might deal with by using hot water. Because I do use like medium hot water. I wouldn't say scalding hot. I'm pretty good about not going too hot with it. When you think about all of this, really the issue isn't that you're washing your face in the shower. You can of course do that. In fact, it's less messy in my opinion, because you're just, you know, you're rinsing. But really, it's not that you can't wash your face in the shower. You just want to be aware of the heat levels. You don't want it to be scalding hot, just because it can make your skin worse if you're dealing with any kind of issues. I'm curious if she's gonna go in with her second cleanse, because she's gone straight into hair. And you know, that's giving me a little bit of unnecessary anxiety, just because I'm like, your face, you were supposed to go in with the second cleanse while it's wet. I don't know, we'll see, we'll see.
Before I dry my face, I actually need to do a double cleanse. So I use the special gel thing. And what I like to do is I'll get the gel, and then I'll also get the microfoliant, and then I'll pop it in. I'll make like a little thing. And then I'll make sure I have wet hands and wet skin, and then mix it together. Always remember to take everything down the neck. You just have to get used to the sensation of having wet collars. It's kind of gross, but here we go. Then I rinse it off.
Wait, pro tip. I have learned something that makes me interested in doing that. I actually do want to mix my microfoliant with just any cleanser, a gel cleanser. You know, I bought actually like a little sample of Dermalogica's newer one that's more of like a soothing microfoliant. It's a powder cleanser. It's got like oat in it or something. It's a blue package. I saw it at Ulta, a little travel size, and I was like, I'm gonna try. I love travel size. It makes me want to try things more so I don't waste full size products. Anyway, I just got that, and now I'm gonna have to try this. Like, instead of just mixing it with water like I used to do, I think I'm gonna mix it with a gel cleanser and see what happens. Yes, you can do that. That would be a situation where I'd say, go ahead, mix your skincare products, because it's cleansers. I also love, again, she brought it down to her neck. She said she usually does this in the shower, so it makes way more sense when you're like cleansing all over, but you do gotta get used to just getting kind of wet. But also, you don't drip as much, let's be really honest, when you're not filming, because you're not standing straight up with like everything dripping down. You're like face over the sink, so not that big of a deal.
So when I was filming John Wick, I was in makeup every single day, a a lot of John Wick is shot at nighttime, and I remember my skin kind of went a bit grey because night shoots are really hardcore and you're not getting any vitamin D.
Well, okay. Let's back this up a little bit. You don't get that much vitamin D from the sun. Yes, it's the best source of vitamin D from what I know, and don't even quote me on that because I'm not an expert in this kind of stuff. If you're trying to get vitamin D from the sun, it's like what, 10 minutes in the sun and you get plenty of vitamin D. You can also get vitamin D from supplements. You can get vitamin D from the food that you're eating. There are other ways to get vitamin D. You're gonna be okay. But I can imagine that being awake during the night, it might play with your rhythms, I guess, like your sleep rhythms and everything. There was this one trip I went on in my 20s where we went to Iceland in the dead of winter. It was like middle of December, I wanna say. And it really did shock my system because it was mostly night all the time. There were like 3 or 4 hours during the day where the sun sort of came out and then quickly disappeared. So it just seemed like we spent a week in pure nighttime, and it was so strange, and I felt exhausted the whole time. And I imagine I probably looked a little bit tired. So I'd say it's not the lack of vitamin D, it's just the lack of sleep, or like that feeling of daytime and everything, and what it does to like your melatonin and everything and your hormone levels and everything. So that's what I would actually attribute that to as a non-expert in that field.
So my skin is so clean, it's quite dry, it feels a bit like tight, which is fine because I have read somewhere that if you are very diligent with your cleansing, then it means that all the goodness will soak right in.
Yes and no. You have heard me say this. If you cleanse your skin to the point where it's super dry and tight within just like a minute or two, that might mean that your cleanser is a little too stripping for your skin. That's not the goal. The goal is to cleanse your face and get it to the point where it just feels clean but nourished still. It's near impossible. If you've got dry skin, like I've got dry skin, if I just cleansed my face and I let it sit for a few minutes and it just completely dried, I would start to eventually feel really dry. So that's a really bad example. I mean, more like in that quickly after cleansing your face, if it's feeling tight and dry or even irritated, that's not a good sign. Just want to make sure you're going into your skincare products pretty quickly after you've washed your face, because you've got this golden moment with your skin where it's hydrated from the water. And if you can lock that hydration in, you're going to just have better results. Your skincare will absorb quicker and you'll lock in that hydration. So you're just starting off in a much better place. So yes, your cleansing will really set the tone of the rest of your skincare routine, but not necessarily if it's like dry and tight. In this case, if my skin dried and it was tight from me just talking and everything to the camera, I would probably even spray a little like hydrating mist on my skin before I go in with my skincare products.
So I like to switch it up every single night depending on my skin needs.
Okay, we started strong, and I don't necessarily think it's always a problem to switch up your skincare routine every night, but I think you should always keep in mind that if you are switching out your skincare routine every night, you might not see the results that you would want to see from your skincare products. Like if you're using an acne treatment or a treatment that's for discoloration or for any kind of skin issue, you might not see the real results of those skincare products if you're switching out products every single night. And also on the flip side of that, if you get some kind of a skin reaction, like some type of irritation or hives or anything, it's going to be harder for you to identify what product caused those issues, right? If it was a product that caused those issues. She has near perfect skin, so she's not there where she's like, oh, like I need to use this product or these products consistently for a while, because she can have fun with it right now, just because if you look at her skin, like it looks pretty immaculate. So that's something to keep in mind. If you're trying to really work with some kind of a skin issue, you want to be consistent. For me, like it's all about preservation. If I truly want to see those results, then I want to stick with my pretty same skincare routine at least for a good month or so. That way I can really judge it.
Currently, I have been breaking out because I have been in my lactose intolerance denier era. Been eating a lot of lactose, a lot of cream, a lot of cheese, because sometimes I hate being lactose intolerant. This is what happens if I eat all those things. I like to use Dr. Barbara Sturm's face mask because it's based with clay, and that's good for inflammation and refining skin. So I love skincare. Love, I'm addicted to it. I love using different serums. I love using different masks. Honestly, 50% is just touching my face is kind of nice. It really centers you after you've had a long day. And so I never, ever miss out on an opportunity to do some skincare. I currently have my eyebrows bleached because I bleached it for a shoot and I really love it, but it's really hard to fill in the roots when you have black hair because you just end up making the ends whiter and then you just look like granddad, and that's not a slay. So I'm just gonna leave this on for a little bit and then rinse it off. Okay, my skin literally feels amazing.
All right, you know you're never gonna hear me say, ooh, Dr. Barbara Sturm, I love that brand. That said, let's take a look at this product. I've never even heard of it. It's just called Face Mask. Really gives you a lot of detail on what it does, which in some ways might be smart because people just want sometimes a face mask. I don't know. It is $125, which for Barbara Sturm products isn't the most expensive. Still expensive, but not the most expensive for that brand. Deeply hydrating and soothing. Purslane, always. That's like the ingredient of the brand, but it's also hyaluronic acid. That's like the ingredient of the brand. Calming aloe vera and chamomile and kaolin clay. So there is kaolin clay in here. Sweet almond oil, vitamin E. So this looks like it's going to be more of a soothing face mask. It doesn't look like it gets really super tight and dry, which I actually appreciate. I don't actually love a super dry face mask when it's a clay mask because I just feel like the harder it gets, the more potentially irritating it is for your skin. And it's also even harder to get off of your skin if it's that thick and dry. This looks like it doesn't dry down that much and it has some really nice ingredients like that sweet almond oil. That's gonna help keep it feeling a little bit more moisturizing for the skin, just softer. And it also does have that purslane in it, which is a great ingredient for calming. The aloe vera is great. Yes, kaolin clay can help draw out that excess sebum, I guess, that excess oil that you might produce, but I wouldn't say this is for acne. So she was pointing to the fact that she's breaking out and everything, and this might be why she's using the mask, but I guess she didn't necessarily say that she's using this for acne. I'm assuming she's using it because she's having these breakouts. So I would say that a mask is nice. This is actually a very nice calming mask and it can probably help with some excess oil, but she said that she thinks that this is from her lactose intolerance, which who knows? And if that's the case, then these types of ingredients aren't necessarily gonna help with the acne, but it could help soothe that area and it could help reduce, I guess, that any excess sebum production.
It feels really fresh. Doesn't feel so tight, which is nice. I don't like to have alcohol in my toner because I feel like that kind of dries me out.
You know, that's such an interesting thought. So one, she confirmed that her skin feels a little bit more nourished with that mask, and it's because it's not drying down like that and it has those ingredients that are going to keep it feeling a little bit more moisturized. I'd be kind of interested in that mask, but it is definitely overpriced. There's no doubt about it, but I'd be a little bit interested in it. And for somebody saying that they're using it, I'd be like, okay, that's probably a good mask for you. The way her skin is feeling now is how she should be feeling after she cleanses her skin. So it shouldn't feel so tight and dry. And now I'm starting to think that the cleansers might be a little too much for her, a little too stripping or drying for her, if this is actually how her skin feels after using that face mask. So that's just something to keep in mind. You might want to find a cleanser that's a little less stripping for your skin if that's how you feel. As far as alcohol on the skin, you know, can we not demonize ingredients anymore? I'm done with it. There was a time when I didn't trust alcohol in my skincare products either. And then we start to realize like all the Korean skincare still had, you know, alcohol in it. And we start realizing the reasons why people use alcohol in their products. If there's alcohol in a product that's supposed to be nourishing and hydrating for your skin and everything, chances are it's probably in there at a very, very small amount. It's going to evaporate off of your skin, and really it's just making that product work better for your skin. It feels better probably texture-wise, and it probably penetrates a little bit better. So let's try not to worry too much about, you know, one specific ingredient like alcohol. If all of the other ingredients in that product are just going to be very beneficial for your skin and hydrating and soothing and nourishing, then you don't have to worry. It cancels all that alcohol out because it's probably just a little bit.
I usually use SK2. It's so expensive. It's so amazing, but it's so expensive. So when I'm out of that, I use another Dermalogica product.
I actually thought she was going to pull out the SK2. I think the SK2 Essence is just, it's a nice product. It is expensive, but there's no doubt that it definitely makes your skin look clearer. It feels more nourished. I love a good essence, right? And so it's one of the OGs. It really has helped a lot of people with their skin. Can you get something a little bit cheaper? For sure. Something that's just as effective? Absolutely. And by the way, an SK2 bottle lasts me forever. So yes, it's expensive, but I think it's more worth it than the mask that she was using, so.
Sounds like I'm literally sponsored, I'm literally not. And this multi-active toner. It's weird because it comes out and it's like a foam, so I look like I've been foam sprayed. I'll show you what I mean. It's like foam. It's nice on my skin though, it is hydrating.
All right. right, so I'm taking a look at this multi-active toner. This is also from Dermalogica. It's funny, it does feel like it's a little bit of a sponsored video because she's making me want to try some of these products. I mean, honestly, this seems like a pretty basic toner, which I think is totally fine. And sometimes it's my preference when it comes to spray toners because you just really want them to be hydrating. This has aloe in it, which truly is just a powder that's put in there. It's like mixed in to help soothe your skin. It's not what you're thinking. Like, it's not really coming as a gel. But there's also moisture binding sodium PCA, which is very hydrating for your skin. And then they have other ingredients like arnica, which I think is great. But then there's like lavender and balm mint and everything. And those are more essential oils. So it probably makes it smell really nice too. I don't know exactly what's causing it to get that foaminess to it, but I'm willing to bet that some of these ingredients that are in here, the way that they interact when it's sprayed, probably is what causes it. It seems like it's pretty hydrating. This is actually the perfect time to place this in her skincare routine after she's fully rinsed off that mask. But had she not gone in with the mask, I would have said to use this right after she cleansed her skin because she was complaining about her skin feeling a little bit tight and dry and everything. This would have been the perfect way to spray this and then go into her skincare routine. But again, she went in with the mask, which in the order of things, this is perfect.
Then I use this eye gel that I've been using for years. Usually I think eye gels are a bit stupid and I don't really do anything, and everyone always says you don't need an eye cream actually, but this one has kind of made a difference, and it's the Davines Oi Serum. So serums is where it gets interesting. Like I said earlier, I switch things out depending on my skin needs for that day.
Okay, earlier you heard me saying, we'll get to her eye gel in a second, but you heard me say that you shouldn't switch out your skincare routine every day if you want to see true results, but I do believe in listening to your skin. So not necessarily switching out your skincare routine every day, but using products according to what your skin needs, which doesn't change too drastically over a month, right? Like you might get a breakout or two and then add in a couple of products. I think that's really more so how you should be doing it. Like you should have your basic routine that you do on a regular basis, and then the additive products, I guess, that you kind of bring in when you need to bring in like the big guns, like whether it's acne treatments or discoloration treatments, all of that kind of stuff. Back to this eye gel though, let's talk about this. You've heard me say that I think eye cream is stupid at times, right? You don't necessarily need a moisturizer, and I don't care what anybody tells you. If it looks like a moisturizer, if it acts like a moisturizer, if it feels like a moisturizer, it's probably just a moisturizer. That said, the difference when you are looking for an eye cream or an eye gel is the actives. What is it doing for your eye area specifically? That's what truly matters to me when it comes to an eye specific product. What makes it specific to that area that your moisturizer isn't going to be able to do? This is the Dr. Dennis Gross Advanced Retinol and Ferulic Triple Correction Eye Serum, and already out the gate, I'm like, this is so much better than just a typical eye gel or a moisturizer. This is gonna do so much more for you because it has retinol in it. That's gonna do so much more for your eye area than anything, right? So let's see what other ingredients there are though. There's the ferulic acid, retinol, bakuchiol, rambutan, which I don't even know what that is. A gentle botanical active that targets fine lines and wrinkles. Great. Targets elasticity. Great. Clinical results and 2-week clinical. Sometimes we want a little bit longer than 2 weeks, but great. They at least have 2 weeks with 60 subjects where 91% saw a softer, more supple eye area and 85% saw smoother skin, which after 2 weeks could technically just be done because they might see those results because they're just hydrating that area. There's salicylic acid, there's glycolic acid in this too. This is like a power move. I would want to put this on my entire face, but to use it specifically in the eye area, I'll tell you, there's also caffeine in here. This is great. If it feels nice, I mean, there's even Camellia sinensis. There are some really great products. You should never judge a product by the ingredient list. It's true. I have never used this product before, but she put it on. It looks like a nice light gel. She said she's actually seen a difference, that it's made a difference with her eye area. Always keep using a product if you've seen a difference. Don't listen to what anyone has to say about eye creams or anything like that because they're not all created equally. And looking at this ingredient list, if it is nice, I want this all over my face, right? And so the thing that makes a eye specific product stand out from other products, like this versus like a retinol serum that has these types of ingredients in it, is that this was probably tested to be used in the eye area. As in they've tested it to see if it causes any eye irritation, and to see if people get any kind of, you know, sensitivity around their eyes, flaky skin, if it exacerbates any issues that might come with the eye area. If it's an eye specific product, then that means it's been tested for that. That's what truly makes it stand apart as an eye gel. So if it's got all these really great ingredients in it, if it looks and feels like it's nice, and if you've seen a big change, then I'd say that this product is probably a really great eye product. So I think the moral of that story here is, just because you've heard somebody say, myself included, that eye cream is just moisturizer in a smaller jar, that is also true. But these two things can be true independent of each other. This is a whole different type of product than just your typical eye cream.
And I also do this thing called skin cycling, which means like I use retinol one night, and then I'll use a niacinamide one night, I'll use an AHA serum one night, and then just kind of cycle around. So one night I could be using this for AHA, which is amazing for pores, or I could be using this, which I love. I use this every single morning. I could also be using this. I could also be using this. Oh, I could also be using this. If I feel like I need a treat, then I'll spend money on the skincare. I have to be in a weird trance to be able to spend money that much. You don't need this much. I have a problem.
I have a problem too. This is my issue with skin cycling because I'm not a skin cycler. I feel like when you are using ingredients, especially like retinoids, right? I feel like you should try to get to the point where you're using them every single night, or at least as many nights a week as you can. That's when you're gonna see the most benefit from it. So if you're cycling through these types of products, ones that you could be using in conjunction, by the way, with each other, like niacinamide, you don't have to use that on a separate night from your retinoid or from your exfoliant, your AHAs. You can use that on the same night. You can use that every single day, as long as your skin can tolerate it, right? Which for the most part, most people can tolerate niacinamide pretty well. The fact that she's, you know, cycling through these products that she could get more benefit from using daily. Like she said, she uses a CE Ferulic every single morning, and then sometimes at night. You're getting so much more benefit from that daily use in the morning than you are from just randomly throwing it into your nighttime skincare routine. Instead, I would just pick those powerhouse ingredients that you want and try to use them as much as you can throughout the week, as much as your skin can tolerate, right? Not everybody can use a retinoid every night. And yes, it could be a little too harsh to use your retinoid with your AHA on the same night, though I sometimes like to do that. I've called it a power move. But again, it's all on what your skin can tolerate. And yes, the more that you can handle more often, the better results you're gonna see, right? Skin cycling to me is great for people who are just getting started. Like if you are just starting to use a retinoid for the first time in your life, then by all means, go slowly with that. If you're trying to add new types of active ingredients like your AHAs and your retinoids into your skincare routine, then definitely start with skin cycling. That way you go slower and you don't just freak your skin out all at one time. And the big issue for that really is that if your skin starts to freak out, you want to be able to identify the problem. If you're just kind of cycling through everything all the time, you might not do that. The real goal here in skincare is to get to using a product as often as possible, as often as your skin can tolerate, because that's when you're going to truly see the results. So that's something to keep in mind. Skin cycling is really only good for beginners or people, I guess, with really sensitive skin. But if you've got super sensitive skin, you should still try to find a routine that's going to be more consistent and just more gentle.
I'm gonna use something that has kojic acid because I just have some like sunspots, which is kind of normal for my age. A lot of East Asian girlies get these things as they get older. So I've been using this cream. It's called Faded by Topicals. It's so cute. It's really busted up, but it looks so cute. It smells like vomit, truly, but it really works and it feels really nice on your skin. So you just gotta get past it. It smells so bad. And it has significantly lightened, I will say. You just gotta persevere. Make sure you always take things down to the neck and chest.
I remember the first time I used that Topicals product, I was like, I can't use this, it smells so bad. And then it's consistently come up like, oh, it smells so bad. But now I think this smells a little like efficacy. Like people are just associating it with, it smells bad, but it works. And it's kind of similar to, you know, like SkinCeuticals CE Ferulic. Everybody talks about how it smells like hot dog water or whatever, but now it's like associated. And I feel like if this scent were to change and suddenly improve for Topicals, topicals, it would change the whole product at this point. They kind of have to keep it smelly now. You hear people say that they love it. It has a lot of lightnings, you know, like brightening ingredients in it. And the funny thing is she pointed out the kojic acid in it, which is a very popular brightening ingredient in Asia actually, but it's not even really the kojic acid that's doing the heavy lifting here. It's the tranexamic acid. There is niacinamide in here, and there's a whole host of other ingredients in here that just help to brighten your skin, soothe your skin, just do a lot for evening your skin tone. If she's choosing this is a great example of what I was talking about with skin cycling. If she's choosing this, she absolutely could use an exfoliating product also, or use a retinoid in her skincare routine as well. And this is what I'm talking about with my issue with skin cycling, is that she might only use this and then she's gonna miss this opportunity to add on another product or ingredient that has actives in it that would actually work really well together in synergy, right? So it's not that I don't want people to be gentle with their skincare routines and what they're using and not overdo things, but there are times where skipping these products together, you're like missing an opportunity.
So the key with skincare is that you always have to let it sit. I think you have to make sure that you don't put product on top of product on top of product. I think you just gotta let it marinate for like 2 minutes. And you can almost feel it sinking in. It'll start to feel less tacky.
Okay, no, guys. You have heard me talk about this. When your skin is a little bit more damp, it absorbs your products better, right? Everything will penetrate your skin better. And this is one of the biggest issues that we constantly deal with behind the scenes of developing skincare products for you, right? Really, behind the scenes of a skincare brand, we're constantly wondering, how can we get this product to penetrate deep enough to actually get people the results that we're trying to promise them with these ingredients, right? One of the ways that you can do that, just right out the gate, keep your skin damp while you're applying products. The reason why you'll hear dermatologists say to, you know, introduce a retinoid into your skincare routine when your skin is dry is because if your skin is damp, it's gonna work harder. And if it works harder, then you're more prone to, you know, all the side effects that you might get from a retinoid when you're still getting used to it. If you are letting your products dry down between application, then you're not getting the most benefit from them. You're not getting that full potential. You want your skin to be a little bit damp. Sure, you don't want to apply other products on top of each other while your skin is so like wet. Like if you use something that's like a very wet serum, for instance, and it feels like it's still super slippy slidey and nothing's going to penetrate that or like get around it, then let it dry down a little bit, but you don't want to wait 2 minutes and lose that opportunity to lock in that hydration and also get your products to absorb better into your damp skin. Go for it. Layer on top of each other. It is totally fine.
So I learned a lot about skincare through YouTube and also recently TikTok. I watch a lot of dermatologists. I did not grow up with this knowledge when I was younger. I don't think that was freely available to us. It's like an amazing time to be alive. Okay, calm down.
You don't need to calm down. I feel that. I actually say this often. I meet teenagers now, they're like 12, 13 years old, and they have their skincare routine down. And I can only wish that I knew what I was doing with my skin when I was a teenager, because I did not. I was in the generation of destroying our skin as teenagers. And it's unfortunate because we're all seeing the results now that we're older. It really is a great time to be alive when it comes to skincare, I guess, at least. The amount of knowledge that's out there, both good and bad, is really amazing.
It's an amazing time to be into skincare because there's so much information for free. So it's less tacky now, like I said, I think it's sunk in. So I usually like to combine serums. There are some serums that you should not combine. If there's two actives that are exfoliating, you should do that. You should do retinols and AHAs together, for example. That's a bit too harsh.
Again, misconception. I've said this before too. And I know a lot of skincare experts will say this kind of stuff where they don't want you to use, you know, too many actives together. It's true. That's a very safe generalization to make and to tell people, because really, you know, if you can't talk to somebody very specifically about their own skin and their own routine, then you're probably better off telling them to just go with one active each night, right? If your skin can tolerate, that's really what it always comes down to. It always comes down to your skin tolerance. If your skin can tolerate a retinoid with an AHA in the same night, you're gonna see such better results. But the chances of irritating your skin are so much higher when you're taking those kinds of risks, right? So you just gotta weigh the benefits here, because if you irritate your skin too much and you backtrack so much, you might be starting from zero. You have to like stop everything, let your skin heal, slowly get back into your skincare routine. So you gotta weigh the benefits out, you know?
So today, because I've used brightening kojic acid stuff, I can use something hydrating, and I'm gonna use the Magic Serum.
I'm really driving this home, but if you're using those brightening ingredients, none of them were exfoliating at all. That means that they actually work really well well with your exfoliators and also with your retinoids. So she could have used either one of those.
I use this on shoots because it makes your skin feel so nice. And just push it in. And you know what? I know you're not really meant to like fragrance in skincare, but it smells so good. And it kind of gets rid of that vomit smell from earlier.
Let's not demonize fragrance anymore either. We're over it, right? We're over it on the internet. It's fine if it smells good, especially if you don't want to smell like vomit. Go for something that smells a little bit better, especially again, if it's not irritating your skin, you are fine. This Crystal Elixir Serum from Charlotte Tilbury, I actually really like this product. It has antioxidants in it. Actually, it has that gold conjugated vitamin C that I love so much in it as well. So you're actually getting a really good vitamin C treatment from this, but it also makes your skin look really pretty. Without even looking at it, I want to say that it has like a luminescence to it as well. So it's just immediately giving you that temporary brightening effect as well, but it's also a brightening antioxidant vitamin C serum. I
want to make sure that going to bed I'm using something that has hydration, has moisturization, and is occlusive, which means that it's not letting any trans-epidermal water loss. Oh my god, I learned that from the derms on YouTube. That is when you lose moisture through your skin barrier. So I try and use something that's occlusive, a little bit thick, so it stops it from doing that.
I love it. I love it. But first, hydration. I can already see that she's going to go with something hydrating.
First, I will respray myself with hydration. I like the concept of layering hydration. That's something I learned through the 12-step Korean skincare routine, which I used to do, but now no longer do because it's a lot. And now I've replaced it with something else, which is also 12-step.
Honestly, I love it. Do you? This routine is beautiful. Keep it going. Do 12 steps if you want to do 12 steps. I love putting hydration between my steps. I actually think it really can help hydrate your skin. It is very Korean skincare method, like, you know, OG, but totally fine. And I actually think it's great, especially because she was waiting for dry down between her products. It's great to go ahead and like layer in that hydration, and that hydrating toner from Dermalogica is a really great one. Again, basic hydration is always great.
Then we go in with magic cream. I honestly use this every single night on tour, and it is so good for protecting my skin under my makeup. And then I was like, one night I just didn't have my moisturizer, I ran out. So I started using this and I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. And my skin was so hydrated the next morning. So now I use it as the last step of my skincare routine.
I've talked about this. It's probably overpriced. I mean, it is overpriced. Anything that pricey is overpriced when it comes to skincare. Pretty definitively, I can tell you that it's overpriced. But if you enjoy it, you enjoy it. And if it works, it works. I love the magic cream. I've talked about that for years. I love the scent of it. I love the way it feels. I personally think it works great if you've got dry skin under makeup as like your moisturizer / primer. That's my favorite use of that moisturizer. I don't think it's as rich as it seems like it's gonna be. But again, I have dry skin. At night, it actually is not enough moisture for me because I'm a dry skin girly. But for daytime, I especially love it. But I think it's a nice moisturizer. It's like a long time running favorite of mine for sure. And I can understand why somebody would pick it up and be like, well, damn, I'm in. Again, you can love Bougie, just know that you're overpaying, but if you enjoy it and you love it, then go for it.
But I have a wind machine, and obviously I sweat a lot. There's a lot of dust, a lot of stuff flying around. My skin gets so dry on stage if I don't hydrate it. I've tried lots of different things. I've tried Embryolisse, I've tried Veleda, but this is the only thing that really like stops my skin from going really crispy when I come off stage. Love it. Every single morning I use my NuFACE, which is so good for toning the face. It really makes me look snatched. I always do it before shoots because it makes a huge difference. So I use that, but that's the morning. But at nighttime, my insane LED masks. This is by a company called EvenSkyn. I took this on a trip and I didn't pack it right, and now the nose is a bit broken, but it still works. But I put this on and I put the LED on red, and not only does it send me to sleep, it's made a huge difference to my skin. It looks so glowy afterwards. So I love it. I've been using this for years.
You know what? I'm so sold on these LED masks. It took me a while to come around, I'll be honest, because I was into like the old school like panel. I think there was a part of me that was really skeptical about these LED face masks. Like, could you really get the quality that you need from these masks to see a difference? And it turns out I'm all in. I use the current body one and I'm all in. I actually started using the neck and chest one with it as well. I agree. For some reason, once you get used to the LED lights, like you pass out underneath them. Even though they're like so bright at first, there's something soothing about it. I love it. People have asked with my melasma, am I allowed to use this? It's not going to exacerbate it. And honestly, it hasn't gotten hot enough. It never gets hot enough to me to exacerbate my melasma. It actually makes my melasma better. And whenever I'm dealing with any kind of skin issues and everything, like if there's a device that I tell people is worth it, it is an LED mask. You just got to do your research. They're not all created equal. Some are better than others. I've never heard of this one that she's talking about, so I don't know if it's a really good one, but there are some really good guides online and everything. And maybe I'll put something in the description box that kind of breaks it down for what you're looking for. Dr. Sam Ellis also on her YouTube channel has a really good breakdown on LED masks as well. If you find the right one, it is so great. It's a great investment if you find the right one and if you use it diligently. So at least 3 or 4 times a week. You'll have a hard time getting me to like tell you that a skincare device is totally worth it for the money. LED masks, I'm all in. When it comes to the NuFACE, you've heard me talk about that. In fact, in my Harper's Bazaar video, I used my NuFACE. I still love microcurrent for my skin. I especially love it in facials. I actually do think that using it in the morning is better because you're getting that temporary lifting too. So it's gonna just help you just look more refreshed throughout the day. And it's also giving you a little bit of a massage and everything. Now, when it comes to these two devices, do I tell you to use both of them? If you can afford to have both of them, sure, go for it. If you could only have one, I think I would tell you to go with the LED face mask. That's a really hard one for me to say, but I think that's the direction I would send you in these days. I think it's more realistic that you're gonna stick with the LED face mask and use that more consistently than using a device that you actually have to do something with.
My brain is at all times at least 5% thinking about skincare, so I'm really happy I got to do this feature. You can check me out in the latest John Wick 4, my acting debut, and also check out my album, Hold the Girl. I'm going on tour this summer in North America, so make sure you come. Okay, bye!
One of the best skincare routines, like the most amped I've been for a skincare routine in a long time. That felt like food for my soul or something to see somebody really get into it. She's thinking about skincare 5% of the time. I'm thinking about skincare like 90% of my day because I also have a brand. So I'm constantly thinking about skincare, but that was amazing to see. I think we really saw like the fusion of all the social media skincare tips out there, the good ones, and then the ones that are like meant to be good, right? Like they've got a lot of like good intention, but they can be confusing, like skin cycling, right? Good intention with that concept of skin cycling, but she can probably amp it up a little bit more and use like a retinoid as many times a week as she can, or, you know, like use her AHA with her topical faded treatment, right? That kind of thing. So just always keep those things in mind. Eye cream, totally fine as long as you're getting true benefits from it. And P.S. if you just want an eye cream that moisturizes, then do you. It's not going to be harmful, that's for sure, right? So this is a reason, again, that I say that these videos are really to start conversation around skincare because, I mean, it's fascinating, right? It's like interesting to see what people do and what they enjoy, what's working for them as well, but also kind of discuss, right? Like, well, yeah, skin cycling is fine, but here's something to know about this. Or eye creams are fine as long as you're, you know, looking at why you're using it. So I think this goes all the way back to why I started Skincare Reactions years ago. This video felt like a little throwback to why I started these kinds of videos. So that felt really good to watch. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comments below. I'll leave the original video link in the description box. You can also find me on social media. I'm at Susan Yara on TikTok, on Instagram, on Threads, on all of the things. The only app I'm not on is Twitter these days. I completely removed that app. So anything you want to know, just let me know. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.